So, you have a movie for me? Yes, sir, I do. According to the most recent survey by the Program for the International Assessment of Adult Competencies, 54% of Americans read at or below a 6th grade level. That's horrifying. Right, so it's a great time to release a movie whose dialogue nobody can understand. Is it? So the plot follows a young and very talkative woman named Hamlet, whose father is dead, and her mother remarries her uncle. Right, gotcha. So we're doing a gritty, interpersonal family drama, big on the realism. No, there's a ghost. Oh, there's a ghost. Yeah, there's a ghost. See, Hamlet's father, whose name is also Hamlet's father's name is also Hamlet. Yes, Hamlet's father, Hamlet, was murdered by Hamlet's brother, who is also Hamlet's uncle, who then marries Hamlet's wife, who is also Hamlet's mother. Let me make it clearer. Hamlet's father, Hamlet, was murdered by Hamlet's brother, who is also Hamlet's uncle, who then marries Hamlet's wife, who is also Hamlet's mother. Right. And what's this thing called again? Hamlet. So Hamlet, who is also Hamlet's dad, warlike, in full armor with a sword, comes back from the dead as a ghost. He says, "Hamlet, you have to avenge my foul and most unnatural murder." But isn't every murder a foul and most unnatural murder? So then Hamlet is like, "Of course I'll avenge your murder." How? How is she going to avenge her father's murder? Well, the only thing that fixes murder is restorative justice and rehabilitation. More murder. She's going to commit more murder. And as we all know, the first step of committing murder is to have fun and be yourself. No. The first step of committing murder is we don't talk about committing murder. No, you do talk about committing murder. You monologue about it. Right, of course. The first step to successfully committing a crime is to talk a lot to everyone about the crime you're about to commit. Exactly. So Hamlet, old Hamlet or young Hamlet? Boy Hamlet or girl Hamlet? Girl Hamlet, young Hamlet, old Hamlet / boy Hamlet is dead. But isn't he still walking around and talking? Yeah. So after you die, you just walk around and talk still. Yeah. Okay, sorry. I'm trying to remember from English class. Isn't Hamlet somewhat famously, afraid to die? Yes. Hamlet is so afraid to die. Basically, every soliloquy is about this. In the to be or not to be speech, he, or in this case, she, talks about the dread of something after death. The main point of the soliloquy is that life is so wretched, so heinous and oppressive and unjust and cruel, that the only reason anyone doesn't kill themselves is that they're afraid that what happens after death is even worse. They don't know what happens after death and they're scared, so they stay living. So Hamlet doesn't know what happens after death. No, she has no idea. She calls death the undiscovered country from whose bourne no traveler returns. The undiscovered country from whose border no traveler returns. Right. No traveler return. Right. Nobody comes back from the dead. The inciting incident of this entire plot is Hamlet's father coming back from the dead. So Hamlet kills Polonius, the counselor, and Hamlet's uncle Claudius. Claudius? Well, that's not really a Danish name. So Hamlet's uncle Claudius watches a play and figures out that Hamlet's onto him, so he sends Hamlet away from Denmark. He sends her to England, and she gets on a boat and she goes. Wow, England? How's she gonna get back to Denmark to avenge her father's murder? Hamlet is on the boat to England when she is kidnapped by pirates, and they return her to the exact shore she departed from, and she shows up back at the castle. Wait, what? Hamlet is on the boat to England and is kidnapped by pirates. She's kidnapped by pirates? Who return her to the exact shore she departed from. So Hamlet shows back up at the castle, and so does Polonius' son Laertes, and now Laertes wants to avenge his father's murder by killing Hamlet. So Claudius coaxes Laertes into a scheme where they'll coat a fencing sword in poison and slice Hamlet with it, and also put poison in a chalice and try to get her to drink it. So Claudius had, like, poison this entire time. Yeah, remember he poisoned Hamlet's father? So why not, like, just poison Hamlet, like, way back at the beginning? Hang on a minute. Yeah, I don't know. Another thing. If Hamlet's father's ghost is strolling the ramparts of a castle, armed, like with a sword, you said, why doesn't he just avenge his own murder? Anyway, there's a big sword fight that everyone thinks is just a fencing match, but then everybody dies. Everybody? Everybody. Surely not everybody. Everybody. Hamlet's father is already dead, Polonius is dead, Ophelia is dead, and now Laertes, Gertrude, Claudius, and Hamlet die right in front of you. What? The only survivors are like the really effeminate courtier who shows up in one scene and Hamlet's friend. It's just total carnage. Like, every character you are even remotely attached to is just dead and bleeding on the floor. And this story's supposed to be good? The best in the English language. So, what do you think?